Lionel, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Okay, look at this. It's our yearly tape-to-tape show. This show is done. Show is done just for Peter Borchers.
Peter Borchers, that's it.
Yep. This is the AML's once a year tape-to-tape show. It's our hockey show. It's the show that everybody loves to hear. All the hockey insights from all your hockey experts here at the old AML network. And on hand we have Shane the Young Gun, Mason from Kansas City, Missouri, on the Missouri side. What's the river that runs through Kansas City?
The Missouri River?
I knew that.
Right.
And
testing me, right?
Yeah, just testing you.
Okay.
And also we have Bruce Kelly, superfan number one, originator of the Kelly questions, and president of every model railroad club within a 100-mile radius of Medford, Oregon. And he's joined us on our yearly version. I think last year we did 2 versions of tape to tape.
I think we did.
Yeah,
you did.
Well, this might be the only version for this year, but we'll at least try to
say we're a little late, like a good delayed penalty here, but at least we're
exactly. We're late like a good delayed penalty. All right, so it's now the second round is just underway. Boston leads the Tampa Bay Lightning 1-0. Capitals are trailing the Pittsburgh Penguins 1-0. Las Vegas is leading San Jose 1-0, and Winnipeg leads Nashville 1-0. So the second round is just underway. And here's an insight. I'll kick off the conversation. I, honest to goodness, about halfway through March, started thinking Boston's looking pretty good.
Dude, I was afraid of Boston too. Coming out of it, they got real hot there at the end of the regular season. Real hot.
There's a problem. That is going to be, I don't know why the NHL does it the way they do, but the next series is going to be Boston and Pittsburgh. Do the Capitals have any chance against Pittsburgh?
Out of the last 10 times they've played, they've had one time where they've won. So I'd say no. I think really, though, Pittsburgh's just a really well-rounded team. Murray's playing real good right now as long as he doesn't get injured. His backup goalie's playing real good. The lines are good. They're down Malkin and Hagelin right now. But, I mean, if you look at Pittsburgh versus the Capitals, they have a really well-rounded team. And the Capitals have the tendency to come out and play really aggressive in the first period or two of the game. And that usually gets them points on the board. But you look at usually about the second half of the second period into the third period, they seem to unravel. And I don't know what it is. And I mean, it seems like a switch. At one point, you'll notice that they just unravel. Everything just starts getting really sloppy, and then that's where Pittsburgh steps up and closes out for them. So I think for what it is in the team, I think Pittsburgh's got this one in the bag. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy series, because the Caps are still a hard team to play against. They're a very physical team, very aggressive, especially on the forecheck coming into the zone. So it's going to be a tough series, but I don't think it's anything Pittsburgh couldn't handle.
I don't know. I don't know if Washington's going to win a game. I really don't. Like, I think for some strange and peculiar reason, Alex Ovechkin cannot win playoff series. When you're cursed, you're cursed. It just kind of happens. It's very odd. What do you think, Bruce?
I don't know. The Flyers aren't in the playoffs, so I'm sort of out of it. I guess I have to go.
Well,
sorry about that.
Being that I'm from Pennsylvania, I have to go for the Penguins now, right?
Yeah, there you go.
You don't have to, but I guess technically you do. Yeah, I really guess you really have no choice.
Well, yeah, and then I lived in Connecticut for a while, so Boston's the closest team.
Yeah, and the Whalers are out of it.
Yeah, I know. Way out of it, right?
I'm not even sure. There was a guy for a long time. You couldn't even buy Hartford Whalers merchandise because somebody owned that and wouldn't release it. So what happened to Malkin? I didn't even know he got hurt. Is he out?
He got hit. What had it been? I guess it was the first game there. He got hit, and he went into the tunnel back into the locker room, then came back out and finished the game. but since then has been put on day-to-day. So I don't know when he's going to come back. Hagelin's been out since the last game of the series with the Flyers. He's still considered day-to-day, so we could see them back at any point, but as of right now, it's just kind of a waiting game. But I think the lines for the Pens have going right now are really well-rounded. Hagelin's leading Hagelin is leading the entire playoff, or sorry, Gunsel's leading the playoffs in goals scored at 7. So he's playing really hot again this season. You look at his stats and it's incredible the way this kid plays, especially for, his rookie season last year. He really went out and overachieved, and Pittsburgh is averaging, around 4, almost 4.5 goals a game, so they're getting it done on the offense, and they're trying to keep pucks out of the net as much as they can defensive wise, and they've got a really good set of guys playing defensive line too. Like I said, it just comes down to being a really well-rounded team. You can't play really good offense and then have horrible defense. You've got to be really well-rounded altogether.
All right, what is this? What does this tell you? What does this statistic tell you? The top 5 point getters in the playoffs right now are either with the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Boston Bruins. And the top 5 point getters are all on the plus side of plus-minus. Number 6 is Alex Ovechkin, and he's -1. So your top 5 point getters right now are David Pastrnak of Boston, Jake Gunsel of Pittsburgh, Sidney Crosby, Pittsburgh, Brad Marchand, Boston, Patrice Bergeron of Boston, and their plus-minus is 5, 11, 8, 6, and 8. There's your Stanley Cup series right there. Is the conference final of with those 2 teams.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see when we get to that last round, just before the finals there. That Boston Pittsburgh is going to be a good series. Going to be a brutal series. I think you're going to see a lot of goal scoring out of it though.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure, but it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh isn't really a tough team. Like Boston's a tougher team than Pittsburgh, isn't it?
I think Pittsburgh tries to stay out of the penalty box in terms of fighting, and they really don't have a big fighting enforcer group. I think they play quick hockey, and that's one of the things that a lot of people talk about is Pittsburgh is very, very, very fast. And it's unbelievable. You watch these guys, even guys, Gunsel's quick, Crosby's still pretty quick, Malkin's tall and fast. You look across that entire lineup for Pittsburgh, and it's just amazing how fast these guys are. I'm trying to find.
I remember the year they played. 2 years ago when they played Chicago, I was watching one of the games and with my friend from Chicago, and she was going crazy, and I was watching it, and I was keeping my mouth shut. But Pittsburgh was so fast. Pittsburgh looked fast. They looked fast.
The craziest part, you see this on TV, you never realize it till we went to St. Louis, is they're fast. But even Phil Kessel, for being a bigger built guy, he's got some wings on him, dude. He gets up and goes when he's got to get after it. That Sheary's fast, Mata's fast. They've just got a quick team. So when you get when you start breaking up an offensive rush, or from the other team, they've usually got guys that are ready to recover, and they're very good about their offensive awareness in terms of being in the zone, knowing where to be. They got a lot of guys that are very versatile too, guys that can play out on the boards, get up close, grind if they have to, get out out to the blue line and snipe if they have to. Brian Russ is playing a lot of good hockey right now. Schultz, Hagelin, that whole team is it's really well rounded, and the fact that they've been able to keep a lot of the original guys together for the last 2 years makes a difference. That's something we compare the Royals to as well. The Royals are playing very rough this season. Eric Hosmer left the Royals and has had a very rough season with, I believe it was the Angels he went to, or somewhere out west. I don't recall now, but they said he's having a very rough season. When you keep those guys together, that cohesiveness, that the bonds and the work that they've all put in together, they know how they play. They know where they're supposed to be, and it helps in the long run when you have those guys who are so cemented fundamentally. Playing together, it makes a world of difference.
I don't think you mean that Kessel's fat. He's a large fellow. He's heavy set. He's heavy set
for a hockey player compared to most guys. Yes, but he has got some wings. Dude.
And you know why? Oh, he has. He always has. But he loves the hot dogs.
Yes, you've seen this Stanley Cup picture from last year, didn't you?
Exactly. He loves
all those hot dogs.
Exactly. But, maybe that's I should have tried out for some teams.
There you go. But that's what they said. When they interviewed him after coming to the Pens. Toronto didn't have a lot of time invested in him, and he said when he came to the Pens, they they told him, this is how it's done. This is how we do it. You step up or step out. And he said, they whipped his ass into shape. He still enjoys the occasional hot dog, but he said it makes a difference. And it's one of those things too. And the player is all about what makes that. You can't have a good coaching staff. If your players don't believe and your coaching staff don't believe, it's not worth any time to you.
I know, but he says like the hot dogs.
He loves the hot dogs.
Okay, so I think I would not be shocked to see Pittsburgh sweep the Capitals 4-0 or 4-1. It will not surprise me. I think the Capitals are pretty much done. There must be something about Ovechkin in the dressing room. He just doesn't show any confidence or something. Or not Kessel, but Ovechkin.
Right.
He just doesn't show any confidence in the dressing room or something. And so that's what I say. I say Capitals are going quick.
I could see it too. It's going to be maybe one game on the high end. But it's going to be a pretty straight through series.
Yeah. It's going to be quick, and it's going to be relatively. I think Boston and Tampa goes 4-2.
Yeah, I could see that one going for a while. Tampa was playing pretty good there through the year. But I just think if Boston stays hot like they are, they're going to be dangerous, especially going into that final round. Another one everybody's had their eye on and was really betting against when they started the season was the Gold Knights.
I know.
But, you look at the star power they got in the draft, and they cashed out. I mean, it's not like they got a handful of okay play. They cashed out in the expansion draft, and it shows this year. And one of the things I was wondering was how well that team was going to play as a unit. And this year's just been amazing. They've set records for being the first team to sweep a team in the first round in their first year. They're leading the Sharks as it is now, and the Sharks swept Sharks swept Anaheim, and now Vegas is already up 1 on them. I think that Vegas series now is going to be very quick, just because they're playing so dangerously. And Fleury is playing with a level head this year. That's one of the things that we always seem to have issue with when he was in Pittsburgh. Is right around this time he would start to he'd get shaky and saying he couldn't handle the stress and he would have to step away. And that's where we got Murray stepping up the last 2 years. But he's playing super level. He's playing with a really good offensive team in front of him, playing a lot of good D this year, and it shows in their stats too.
Well, yeah, San Jose is that series is 1-0, and the first game was really, really close until they dropped the puck.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was 7-0. Vegas scored more goals in the first 8 minutes of that series than they had allowed in the last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even get. So, Bruce, do you even know who the Las Vegas Golden Knights are?
It's a weird sounding hockey team out of Las Vegas.
It is a weird sounding hockey team. I don't like the name at all, and it's Knights with a K. And they have the ugliest uniforms in professional sports, easily. God. Yeah, and this is their first year in the league, and they're made up of all cast-offs from other teams because there was an expansion draft. And like even their guy Carlson, he's got for the year, he hadn't hardly had anything happening for 2 or 3 or 4 years, and then he gets with Vegas and he's like scoring goals like a madman. So Vegas is everybody keeps waiting for Vegas to start losing. All year we've been waiting for Vegas to start losing, and they never did. Then everybody waited to figure they'd come apart in the playoffs, and they haven't.
Yeah.
And now they're beaten. Then everybody went, okay, well, now it's going to be San Jose. And they're not going to be able to handle San Jose. And they beat them 7-0 in the first game.
Well, sounds like to me they may go all the way.
I know. Well, yeah. But then they got to. And then the other series we have to talk about is Nashville and Winnipeg. Is that the one series, Shane, that you don't care about?
That's the one I could care less for. Nashville was good last year. This year they're okay. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. Winnipeg is Winnipeg, so and they play the Wild first round, which isn't nothing to write home about.
Winnipeg is one of those professional sports cities where it's like nobody outside of Winnipeg cares. Like they got a good team this year, and nobody cares. Like nobody cares. The only people that care are people in Manitoba. Everybody, and people will only start caring about when they get to the final, and they'll only start caring when they're in the finals at about game 3. When there's like 3 games left in the season, they'll go, "Oh, that Jets team is pretty good after all." So I think so. All right, let's make some predictions here. Let's make some predictions. I'm going to write them down on my big pad. Last year we got all screwed up, so I'm going to write them right now. This year we have a referee. Bruce Kelly is referee in this series. Okay, so who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to be in the conference finals for? Is it the Eastern Conference? I guess is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it the Eastern Conference.
Would be easy. Yeah, Eastern and Western, I guess.
Okay, so who's going to be in the finals?
I'm calling it. It's Pittsburgh and the Bruins.
Right, that's what I'm calling. Pittsburgh and the Bruins. How many games? So we both agree that the Capitals are going to lose in 5 games.
Yeah.
Max. Capitals are done. It's not even going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa, Boston, we're thinking that one's going to be closer because Boston, another thing you got, Boston just played a 7-game series. And
that is true.
And Tampa's got some rest, and Boston had a horrible run of games at the end of the season. They had a pile of games they had to play more than anybody else, so they're tired. But we both agree that Boston's eventually going to beat Tampa. Right?
Yes.
So
yes. It may take 6 games. May take 7 games, but I think Boston come out on top in that series.
Exactly. So Pittsburgh's going to be well rested again, and it's
going into that conference final.
Yeah, the conference final. I think Pittsburgh's going to win, but Boston scares me.
And that's the one thing I'm worried about. If Boston wasn't playing hot, I wouldn't be worried at all on the Eastern side. But I think Boston's going to be the biggest hurdle to jump on the way to the Cup again this year.
Yeah. So we pretty much agree all the way along. So you're obviously taking Pittsburgh because they're going for 3.
Right.
I think I'm going to lean towards Pittsburgh too. I think they're really trying for 3 in a row. I think that's important to them.
Mm-hmm. And they're definitely pushing hard. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So okay. So I think we'll both just agree that it's going to be Pittsburgh in the final from the East.
Yep.
That'll be a tough series, though, that conference final.
Oh, definitely. It's going to wear on them. If they can't get it done quick going into that final, it'll definitely wear on them when they go on to play whoever else on the West side.
So it's San Jose and Bruce. How do you feel about that? What we said about the Eastern side?
Yeah, being that I'm not very knowledgeable about hockey, I'd say you guys made a good call. I think I'd like to see the Penguins do it again. That'd be nice.
Okay. And as Bruce, as the referee of this particular segment on the AML network, and you're reffing the whole thing, I'd just like to say check your message machine because you've missed a lot of calls.
Yeah, probably.
You check your message machine. And you know what? Joe Cummings listening to this. Joe, I apologize. But you know that I can't. I don't like the Bruins, so that's how we ended up with Pittsburgh. Okay, the other side, Vegas and San Jose. Is that going to go more than 5 games?
The Vegas and San Jose?
Yeah.
Maybe
6 max.
I'd say 5 max. If Vegas can't get it done there, they're going to go. That means they've gone cold.
Okay.
That shouldn't even be a struggle for them.
Yeah, I just don't know if I can even. All right, I'm going to say 6 games for San Jose, Vegas. You're going to say 5.
I'm saying 5 games there.
All right, but it will be. We both agree it will be Vegas in the end.
Definitely.
And now on to the series that neither one of us care about. Winnipeg and Nashville. Nashville was in the Stanley Cup Finals last year. I think that one could go 7.
I bet you that one goes 7.
Minimum.
I bet you it goes 7 for no good reason, and Nashville comes out on top.
Okay, that's where we're going to disagree. I think it goes 7. Winnipeg comes out on top.
I could probably lean towards that a bit.
All right,
honestly.
so now
I could see that.
So now it's Winnipeg and the Las Vegas Knights, the Las Vegas Golden Knights with the ugliest uniforms in professional sports versus the Winnipeg Jets, the team that nobody really cares about, in the Western Final. Who are you picking?
I'm going Gold Knights. I bet you it happens. That's going to be a little tougher for them, not by much. I bet you that one goes 6 max, but I bet you they don't need it.
So are you going Cinderella story?
Yep.
Cinderella story. I'm thinking I'm taking Winnipeg for the West. I just can't bring myself to get excited about the Knights. I've been thinking at some point the wheels got to come off. So I'm going to take Winnipeg Jets in the Western Conference. So
and how many, though?
7.
You think 7?
Yeah. I think that's a little more. I think it's a little more.
I think it's going to be a 2-4 somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that's all it's going to take.
And I think Winnipeg's pretty good. I think what's going to happen in the Western Conference Final is Winnipeg is actually a better team than anybody knows, and because only people in Winnipeg care. And it's going to and Vegas, of course, isn't going to want to. Vegas is going to be on momentum, not going to want to lose after they got that far. I think it'll go down to 7 games. I think the Western Conference Final will be won in the second period of overtime in the 7th game. At the 3-minute mark of the second period of overtime, Winnipeg will win the Western Conference.
You think that's where they're going to turn it on in the conference final there?
Yeah. I think that's what'll be happen. Don't be laughing if it's if I'm off by 2 minutes or something. And then
I'll buy you.
What? You'll buy me what?
I said I'll you buy a steak dinner in Kansas City if it comes down to the 3rd minute in the second overtime, Game 7. I'll buy you a steak dinner.
Okay, all right, that's fair. And now it's so good. So now we'll get this over with because right now Peter Borsche is just slamming his head into the steering wheel, listening to this. And
we're not talking about football with a U.
Yeah, exactly.
More of a football, but
yeah. And Bruce Kelly, superfan number 1, is nodding off in the corner.
No, I'm not. No,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm waiting to give you my prediction.
All right, so go for it.
I think Vegas is going to be the come out on top.
Okay. How many?
I think all those guys are pissed off because they're all
yeah.
throw me off, and they just want to stick it to them.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's yeah, exactly.
They got that's an incentive right there. Look, we got kicked out of all these other groups when we create this team, and we're just going to go and take it all.
That's a good point. All right, so now we all agree. So I got Winnipeg in the Western Conference. Bruce, you've got the Golden Knights, and then you took Winnipeg also, didn't you, Shane? Or did you?
No, not into the finals. I have the Golden Knights in the finals.
Oh, so you think they're going to be the conference champions?
Yes.
Okay, so now
I think they're going to win there and go on to the finals, but they'll lose to Pittsburgh, and it'll be a bitter loss for Fleury, and he'll probably cry a little.
All right, and so now we're going into the finals. You've got Pittsburgh and the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and you think Pittsburgh will win in how many games?
It's going to be tough. I bet you that one goes out to 7.
All right. Will it go into overtime?
Yes, I think it goes into 1 overtime, and it's going to be settled in the first 2 minutes of that 1 overtime.
All right, and it'll be.
It'll be a quick finish.
And somehow Crosby will be involved.
Definitely.
Okay. And I think it'll go. I think that could go 7. But they're going to beat Winnipeg in the end. And I think it's going to go. Pittsburgh is on a mission. I'm going to go out and say Pittsburgh wins the Stanley Cup final against Winnipeg in Game 6, 5-3 with an empty netter. And Bruce, what are your thoughts on that? You've got the Golden Knights against Pittsburgh. What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's going to go a 7, and I think Las Vegas is going to upset everybody.
Wow, that would be huge.
Now we're not friends anymore. We were friends when you said
No. I think they have some psychological advantage. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, they talk about that a lot. The Pens have talked about that in the last 2 years, is having that want. You got to want whatever you're working for. But I still think the Pittsburgh Penguins want that 3rd one. No, get me wrong. I think Vegas wants to have that cup in their first year, but I think the hunt for that 3rd one for Pittsburgh is stronger.
I think in the end. Okay, so we got Shane's taking Pittsburgh all the way. Bruce is taking the Las Vegas Golden Knights all the way. And I'm taking Pittsburgh all the way in 6 games in the final. But I think the key that we got to remember is that which game was it? Oh, yeah. In the Western Conference Final, Winnipeg Jets against the Las Vegas Golden Knights will go 7 games, and 2 overtime periods, and the winning goal will be scored for Winnipeg in the 3rd minute of the 2nd overtime.
And I'll buy you steak.
Yeah, and you're going to buy me. I think if I'm within 2 minutes on either side of that, you got to buy me a steak.
Feels like a really big window, but I'm willing to take it. I am. I'm willing to double down if it's anywhere 2 minutes either side. So from the 1st minute mark to
the 5 minute.
The
mark.
1st minute mark to the 5 minute mark, and the 2nd overtime of Game 7.
Yes, you owe me steak dinner.
I'll buy you steak. I'm writing it down right now.
Okay. Well, thousands of people are hearing this, so I accept.
I know, but I'm just making sure because trust me, I'll forget it.
All right. Okay, that's it. Let's get out of here because Peter Borchert has heard enough about hockey. Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Would you like to give out our email address?
Our email address is modelerslife@gmail.com. That's modelers with 1 L, as in, let's see. Oh, boy, goal.
Right.
And not 2 L's like in, wow, it's tough. Kelly. at gmail.com.
On the Las Vegas Gold Knights there.
Oh.
Yeah, Las Vegas Gold.
No.
Not one to put words in your mouth here, but just
Yeah.
I
offering.
could have said that, Las Vegas. Yeah, not 1 L like Las Vegas. Yeah.
All right, well, let me leave you with these golden words. Keep your stick on the ice.
The good old hockey game. Hey, the hockey game. Best game you can name. Best game you can name is a good old hockey game. 2nd period, where players dance with skates that flash. The home team trails behind. They grab the puck and go bursting up and down across the line. Storm degrees like bumblebees.
It's another Lincoln Homer.